ready for phase 1?
Yo guys, it's Excessive here, Team Stealth Rocks. I'm ill in more than one way. Yeah, sorry about missing last week's team builder and battle. Just literally did not have time to record. Had kind of a crazy scenario with Kelly where I worked a lot, picked up some extra shifts. He was working out of town. He was flexible enough to battle while it was some crazy thing like he works, and I might be misquoting Kelly a little bit. I think he works third shift in some variety. So like he woke up in the middle of the night to play me, and I like literally walked in the door from getting home from work, put my bag down, went to my computer and started playing Pokemon. So it was just a crazy battle. So it was really flexible by him. Thank you again, Kelly, for taking time out of your schedule to kind of be flexible with me as well. But we're back here coming up with our Week 6 battle against Champ Lando and the Seattle Seadras. Really like battling Champ. Good friend. Really skilled battler. Always have pretty fun games. Sometimes they're entertaining. Sometimes they're one-sided. But overall, really respect Lando as a battler. So I'm looking forward to this one. Lando's team. Got it posted on the right of the screen there for you with its speed tiers and its Z captains. Meloetta's speed tiering obviously varies based on what form it has. So yeah, interested in actually probably look into that a little bit more. I haven't spent a ton of time looking at Meloetta's fighting form, but we'll do that post team builder because we're on a time frame here. Yeah, really like his team. For the most part, very offensively inclined. The Tail Glow core, lots of setup options. The defense, I like some of the value picks for defensive mons in Mandibuzz and Bronzong. I really like those two picks. I think they're very underrated walls that can do a lot from the utility standpoint. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Not crazy about my matchup. I definitely can win this one. I think there's some matchups where I just don't have the tools to deal with what the other player has. This one, I think I have some play versus him. We did make a free agent move. Looks like Dugtrio was dropped by a team, so we dropped Donphan for Dugtrio, which is exciting. Donphan was a great Pokemon. Was actually kind of happy with how it's been working so far this year, but it's just a solid Pokemon. But I wanted something a little bit more tricky, and Dugtrio really does that for my team with Tramping. Lando's going to plan on it coming, so I'm sure there's going to be Shucca Berries or some other plans to deal with it. But still, like, you have to have the Shucca Berry or the Shed Shell to really deal with Dugtrio, and it's going to be, we kind of make some of his setup options interesting. Predicted 6 from Lando. Oh, I didn't write it down on my sheet here. I think Ninetales, Manaphy and or Xurkitree. I don't think both of them should come. I think Manaphy's better than Xurkitree in my opinion against me. Diggersby, Mandibuzz, Bronzong, Garbodor is kind of my guess, and maybe instead of Garbodor, Meloetta, some sort of like AV or bulky Meloetta could have some play versus me. How do I lose this game? I think my team's a little weak to Diggersby, so like a Choice Scarf for Diggersby can give me some issues. Obviously this Lando has so much setup that if he gets behind like a Tail Glow, not a Tail Glow, a Aurora Barrel late, and then gets a Tail Glow up, it always threatens me. But again, I have tools to deal with that. But yeah, I really think Diggersby is going to be an issue for me. If Infernape comes, it's almost has to be Shucca, Scarf, or Shed Shell. Like Dugtrio just really dumps on Infernape if it's not one of those 3 sets. So without further ado, let's get into the team here. Starting off, we have new meta, the Metagross. While I have not been per se using Metagross very well, I really like the offensive steel type. It gives me kind of a little bit of something a little bit different to work with. So it's been an interesting Pokemon to build with. As I get more comfortable with it, you know, it's something I'm definitely might look into in the future. I think Metagross, I do, while the results have not been there, I like the Pokemon. I like its move pool, and this is one of those sets that I'm pretty happy with going into this battle. We're going with like a especially defensive but non-AV Metagross. The first iteration of this Metagross was AV, but I was having trouble getting rocks on the team, and Metagross comes in a lot to check some of his special threats, and has opportunity to get up rocks. Rocking that Thunder Punch for Manaphy, so Manaphy can at least stop a Wakam Berry or set a Wakam Berry off, or at least do a good chunk of damage to put it in range of Thunderous. It makes Manaphy having to set up on Metagross a little bit kind of dicey because it does an adamant Thunder Punch does depending on bulk investment, 30 to 50%, somewhere around there, probably closer to that 40 number. But a good chunk, and I don't need a ton of damage to Manaphy to really do a ton to. I just need to chunk it one time. Brick Break for screens, and if for some reason he switches Diggersby in on me, I would love that. But I could see Metagross coming in on Ninetales a lot, and then if he just decides to stand and set the screens predicting me, or like on the switch he switches out, I just click Brick Break, get rid of his screens as he switches into like a Xurkitree or switches into a Manaphy, get rid of the screens. I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone run Brick Break against his screening team so far. Bullet Punch just for stab priority, one-shots Ninetales, doesn't necessarily one-shot, it does a lot to Ninetales if it doesn't have a berry or if it's not heavily bulk invested. Just pressures Ninetales a lot. So Ninetales is pressured by Metagross Bullet Punching a lot. Also could be useful to chip a Bronzong, chip a Meloetta or a Diggersby that's choiced in some variety, just to chunk them to get them down in a manageable range. I could see myself, depending on the game, the state of the game, clicking Bullet Punch and sacking off Metagross. Anything else worth mentioning? No, I think Metagross is very important if he brings a lot of his special attackers set up, like in terms of Mega Sceptile to a certain extent, Ninetales, Manaphy, Meloetta, Xurkitree can all break through Metagross, but Metagross it's a soft check. It does a decent job at taking some hits. It pressures them back with decent, stab moves to kind of put them in range for some other members of my team, and then again get rocks up. I think rocks versus Lando is very, very important. When you have a team that is this U-turn heavy, this Volt turn heavy, like you have to get some rocks up so he's just not killing you with momentum. And plus, Ninetales is going to get chipped, Infernape is going to get, I think Infernape takes neutral damage to the fighting type, but you get my point. So I see Metagross being important in this matchup. Norman, I've been really happy with Clefable so far. It's not necessarily an all-star. I don't know if I would ever spend a tier 1 pick on it again, or at least an early pick on it again if I draft it, but overall for what it can do and its move pool, pretty happy with it. So, mid-season it's come a lot. At the one time I tried running offensive, I misplayed / Adam made a good play and kind of ruined it. But I think this is a pretty good Pokemon. We're running a boring max defensive set, but I think versus his team it's really good. Magic card because there's going to be Hail. I'm bringing Hail. I predict Lando to bring Hail. Just kind of increase the longevity of this Pokemon. Rocky Helmet in case Lando likes to click U-turn, and with the U-turn heavy teams, you saw me do it against Marv. I hope Lando's aware that I tend to do this. This is definitely a trend of mine, but I just like Rocky Helmet versus U-turn teams. If you get in a situation where you have rocks up, that guy clicks U-turn, Clefable comes in, takes 8% from a U-turn, and then he takes 12% from the Rocky Helmet, and then chip from the rocks coming back in at a later date. The damage adds up very quickly. The set itself is nothing to really write home about. I think it's really important it's probably going to go down relatively early. You gotta look out for Gunk Shot from Infernape. If Infernape comes, I almost 100% guarantee it's gonna have Gunk Shot. We'll talk about Infernape and Clefable right now, I guess. If it clicks anything but Gunk Shot, I get Rocky Helmet Chip, and I resist most of those attacks, or I resist his stab. Fighting and the fire does a good chunk, but he takes chip himself. If he clicks Gunk Shot, he two-shots me. But with that being said, if I get in a situation where it's not a predicted Gunk Shot and we're both just in each other, looking at each other, I'm probably just going to stay in and click Knockoff against Infernape. It's not a Z user. So if I can just remove its item, if it's a Shed Shell, a Shucka Berry, or Scarf, maybe Scarf's not this important, but it then frees up Infernape just to be a free kill from Admiral Akbar here and my Doug Trio. So, I might just even though Moonblast will do way more, if I just remove a Shucka Berry, it doesn't matter how much it takes, because I can just get a free switch into Doug Trio. Besides that, kind of a disruptive set, knockoff, soft boil, moonblast, flamethrower. I don't know what I'm gonna click soft boil against. Maybe Bronzon, maybe like a Kamala if he brings that. But there's just a lot of Pokemon that their passive states are just going to be trying to set up on me, and obviously you need to be doing ship to these Pokemon to kind of wear them down. But yeah, I think Norm's important. Probably will die relatively early. Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. Dugtrio, Scarf Dugtrio outpaces his entire team outside of agility setup sweepers. So this Pokemon outruns everybody. Faster than Scarf Ninetales, faster than Mega Sceptile. So I have, for once in my battles here, I have the fastest mon overall, which is kind of unusual for me. Puts in a lot of work versus some of his setup sweepers, and it's probably going to force him to run, Shed Shells, Shaka Berries on Xurkitrees, Shed Shell and Xurkitrees, something along those lines. But hey, I get to scout for that. I get to find that out. If I can get to click a knockoff and remove those, that's great. Does a good chunk to a lot of its offensive mons, ranging between that like 30-40%. Unfortunately, I can't run Adamant, so it's not necessarily like a endgame sweeper. But if I can trap and remove an Infernape or a Xurkitree or just chunk a Manaphy really, really heavily, it might be worth it. So yeah, I'm really happy with this set. Stone Edge, if for some reason Ninetales is left around, I can click Stone Edge. Shadow Claw if Bronzon's still around, which I don't. It's going to be at a very specific scenario where I'm clicking Shadow Claw versus Bronzon because I expect it to be Levitate. Next up, we have Bandits here. Message me. Sorry, we're seeing if Lando's. No, it's not Lando. What we got going on? Okay, here we go. Bandit, the Thundurus. Out of all the Pokemon I've drafted so far this season, I think Thundurus has been the one that my stock on has decreased for various reasons, which I'll go over in a draft recap or a season recap video at various times. And again, it's not result-based analysis. It's not because I've done poorly with it, but like when I calculate the things I see, I'm not 100% happy with. With all that being said, I do like it this week. Again, because of Lando's speed tiering, it outspeeds everything but Mega Sceptile and Choice Scarfed Pokemon below that. It outspeeds Ninetales, it outspeeds Infernape if they're not Choice Scarf. So it gives me kind of a very fast threat that can pressure him with Thunder moves. He's only got one ground type upon first inspection. Yeah, Diggersby. So this is the week, hopefully, if Diggersby doesn't come, I can just be freely Volt Switching on the Volt Switch guy. Flash Cannon does a lot of work to Ninetales. I have to be careful about a Choice Scarf. Ninetales can probably OHKO me from a decent HP, so I have to be very careful with that. I don't think I'm gonna lead this, even if I don't see Diggersby, just because I don't want to give him a slow U-turn, or B, possibly get caught off guard by a Choice Scarfer. Honestly, my lead's probably gonna be between Norman, Akbar is probably my two leads, maybe Meta, depending on what I see. Most likely Norman. But yeah, Thundurus, Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, Volt Switch, enough said. Defog, I have a feeling Lando's going to try to hazard stack me. I don't know why. Between Garbodor possibly coming, because it's a good check to my Fairy type, and it gets ground coverage for my Steel type and Stomping Tantrum, I could very easily see Garbodor coming with Toxic Spikes, or Diggerby's coming with Spikes, because, he's some along those sets, kind of a tricky Diggersby set. So I wanted the Defog. Added bonus is I have a Prankster Defog to get rid of Aurora Veil if there's a Xurkitree set up behind screens or something along those lines. So it gives me some utility. I had to drop HP Ice, which makes Mega Sceptile very tricky to work around. But the next member of my team kind of helps with that. And Mega Abomasnow, he's coming back. I love Mega Abomasnow. It's definitely it's definitely a tier 3 Mega. It's got its problem, it's got its issues, but from an offensive standpoint, it's a monster. Running Ice Shard this week almost exclusively for Mega Sceptile and Diggersby. A lot of his other mods are fine with taking ice moves. Blizzard, Giga Drain. I really feel like his only switch-ins to this are Bronzod and mean, that's really it. So we have the Shadow Ball for Bronzong. I don't think it's a super common move, so hopefully he doesn't expect Shadow Ball. I outspeed the Bronzong, and if I can really just get it in a situation where I can just chunk Bronzong down to super low with a Shadow Ball, and then save Abomasnow just to be an Ice Shard bot so that he can't sweep me with Mega Sceptile. Or Diggersby. So like even if I get chunked or toxic, like I'm fine with that as long as this thing's healthy enough to come in on rocks once and click Ice Shard, so he can't just sweep me with some Pokemon of that variety, or that I can break a sub or something along those lines. Yeah, besides that, pretty simple set, your standard wall breaker set. I might play with EVs a little bit and look into Wood Hammer. I like Giga Drain in case for some reason I'm in on a Diggersby or something. Like I could see myself clicking Giga Drain, but I don't know if I could live a Fire Punch from a Diggersby, but that's something neither here nor there. But yeah, excited set. Abomasnow really gives me some play versus his Mega Sceptile, which it might come. Finally, Ditto. Ocean 11, he's going to steal your girl, he's going to steal your money. He's coming in, running quick Claw Ditto over Choice Scarf. We have one Choice Scarfer, a Speed Tie plus Quick Claw. I'm not sure how the math exactly works out, but according to Quick Claw, it's a 20% chance, so if you assume a Speed Tie is just 50% and then 20% on top of that, 70%. I don't know if it's multiplicative or additive, but my point being, it favors it in front of me. So it makes it interesting at least. If Champ Lando assumes it's Scarf and for some reason he switches out, like let's say I come in on a Manaphy that's Sea-Ray Advanced and I get the speed boost and it has Energy Ball, and he switches it to Infernape because he's going to be choice locked in an Energy Ball and I can OHKO it, and then I just switch and start spamming Surfs or Ice Beams or whatever his coverage moves are. The game is pretty much over. Both Xurkitree and Manaphy, if they get up any speed boosting nature, and I haven't revealed Quick Claw yet, and they switch out because he's predicting I'm choice locked, the game theoretically could just be over, and I could sweep him with his own sweepers. There's obviously, between sets and berries, he could stop it, but Marv and me were mocking a little bit, and Marv kept trying to set up on me, like almost kind of unhelpful in mocks for a few points. We had one or two really high quality mocks, and then one mock, it was like turn 3, and he tried to set up on me with Manaphy, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, everything's 100%, and I still have a full HP Ditto sitting here, so he set up with Manaphy. He KO'd me, I came in, and I proceeded to sweep. It might have been Xurkitree, and then I proceeded to sweep him with his own setup. It was like, thanks for the free win, bro. So I don't see Lando being that goofy, and I only think Lando will probably bring one, but it gives interesting play. So it's kind of a tricky set. It won't win me the game necessarily if I lose the speed tie, and if it just like comes down to Lando's guy like, well, if I switch out I lose, well, GG, and then he wins the speed tie and KOs me. I'd be really sad, but enough, that being said, oh well, it'll be a fun game no matter what. So this is the team, guys. Sorry, just below the weather. Kind of quick, maybe not as in detail as I usually go, but wanted to get something out. Me and Lando are having a little bit of issues finding a time to play because I'm working a lot again this week, and I've got some out of town CEU type conference stuff I'm going to for work at the end of this week. So we're kind of playing around trying to find a time. So we'll no planned time, but hopefully we'll have a good battle off. Gonna try to break this losing streak, guys. If I can pull off a win here, the playoff race becomes super interesting, so I'm really hoping I can make it happen. And if I don't, I don't. Not gonna sweat about it this season. Just trying to have fun and try some different stuff. That's gonna be it, guys. This is excessive. Ill in more than one way. Team Stealth rocks. It's the best move in the game.